Morning. Welcome to today's court enforcement hearing. My name is Verna Rocher. I'm going to be your special magistrate today. This is a quasi-judicial hearing, which means it's similar to court that we see on TV or if you've ever been there live. However, the rules are less formal, and everybody who's here to speak regarding a case will have the opportunity to do so. At this time, I'd like for everybody who's going to be providing testimony to please stand up, raise your right hand for the taking of the oath. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, as you can see, I'm appearing via Zoom, so I am going to need everybody to speak loudly and close to the mic. Otherwise, I will not be able to hear you. Hopefully today we won't have any technical problems. Cross my fingers, and we should have a smooth one today. With that, if the town could please call the first case, that would be great.
Madam Magistrate, my name is Nancy Stuperich, and I'm with the Vos Law Firm, and we are now the town attorneys, and I'm filling in for Becky Vos today. I just wanted you to be aware of who I was and my role.
Figured that because we had somebody, a new law firm. I was advised of the new law firm last time as well, so welcome.
Thank you.
Good morning, Vincent Berta, Fort Myers Beach Code Compliance Manager. The first case will be Laura Lieberton, and the base officer will be Jay Keecher. First he'll present.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Would you state your name for the record?
My name is Joseph Kitcha.
And you serve, what is your occupation?
I work for beach and street enforcement,
For which
Fort
community?
Myers Beach.
The town of Fort Myers
Yes.
Beach. And your role today is, tell me what you do as a parking specialist?
Well, we go around and we check accesses for unpaid cars and everything else that they want us to do, check the town and stuff like that.
Are you familiar with the case that's being reviewed today by the
Yes.
special magistrate?
Yes.
Could you tell the magistrate what your role and involvement has been in this case?
Okay, I was patrolling the beach accesses, and I pulled on the Gulf Drive beach access, and I noticed a white Jeep. I checked my app, and it wasn't paid. So I checked the Jeep for parking passes and handicap placards, and nothing was there. So I printed out a ticket and issued a ticket and put it on the windshield for $77.
Could you provide, and Madam Magistrate, you probably are aware, just for the record, a little bit more information of how the app works?
Well, yeah, it works with Clancy. We can run through Clancy, and we can use the app, and it shows us who's paid and who's not paid by the signs. Our parking signs, we put in a parking sign. This was meter 83, parking sign 83. Put that in, it showed it wasn't paid. So it wasn't paid, so I issued a ticket. That was it.
Okay.
Do we have anybody on behalf of the respondent present in the audience?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Please come on up, state your name and relationship to the case, please.
Hi, good morning. I'm Laura LeBreton. I'm a Lee County resident. And first of all, I just want to say to start, I did pay. And I was there for 3 hours with my husband. I thought I paid for 3 hours. I paid for 2. The third time, somehow, it was rejected back. And it shows, I paid, like I said, the first 2 hours. I paid again, somehow it was rejected back. I think it's because I have so many different payment options. And I had turned my phone off. And I didn't know that third hour I didn't pay. I thought I did. And, secondly, how that access was even open, it should have never been open because when I parked there, I couldn't even walk up to the beach. I had to, which I saved one of them, I had to walk on the side lot and crawl through it I saved one of them, with 50,000 sandspurs. Okay, so, when I got back to my car after the third hour, my husband was with me and my dog. After we climbed back through all the sandspurs, I find the ticket. I'm like, what the heck? I don't understand why I have a ticket. I paid it. I have proof I paid it. And so by the time we got home and everything, and I looked at the ticket, it said it closed at 4:30. So I thought, well, okay, I'll wait until Monday and I'll call and explain the situation and what happened. And when I called, the man was very nice, and he told me, you should have called when you got the ticket. I'm like, well, by the time I got to my car and drove home, and I'm not exaggerating on these sand spurs, there was like 20,000 of them. It was way too late. So I called. I was the first call at what time they opened, at 8:30. I waited Monday morning to call, and he told me there's nothing I can do about it. So that's why I'm here. I'm not lying about this. I wouldn't waste my time today for, the $77 ticket's a bit steep when I paid.
That document that you have, could you present it over to the town attorney, please, so she can take a look at it?
So let me get one of the parking guys, if I may, Madam Magistrate.
Okay.
No.
Remember that I'm not here, if you're not close to the mic, I'm not hearing anything that is any part of the conversation.
Okay. All right, so we claim, yeah, I don't see, I haven't even phone. I mean, it doesn't. Okay, so I'm not, so sure, I think what you do is.
Ma'am, I have it on my phone, but I had turned it off because of this. So if you just give me a second, I can prove
That's
my
okay.
history.
That's
I
okay.
thought I had printed it, and I didn't.
Once you're able to find it, show it to the town attorney, because I'm going to ask her for her response when she's able to see the documents.
I did look at the documents, but based on the face of the documents, I was unable to determine whether or not payment had been made. I was advised by staff that it would be shown in our computer, and I don't have access to that.
I do.
That's why I'm giving her the opportunity to
I
go
have
ahead and get it on her phone, so she can go ahead and show that to
I
you.
have it. Just give me 1 second. Parking history. Here. How do I do that? How do I show this?
Did it come up?
Yeah.
Look at it. My parking
Joe?
staff member?
I was there 2 hours. I was there 1 more hour. I looked in the history. Can't find
Did you
anything.
show that?
I was one. But I can't go. I even tried to go in here. I couldn't do that. Why would I pay for 2 hours? Why would I do that?
I don't know, Madam Magistrate, again, I can't make a determination. I think it is her burden to prove to you that payment was made. She's
It's right
saying
here.
that she has difficulty showing you the evidence on her phone.
No, it's right here.
Well, I'm not
Is
sure
there-
if the
is there evidence
magistrate
of
can
payment?
see that.
Yes.
Is that why you just showed the city attorney? I can't see that from that far.
know.
But not the third hour.
It appears that she made payment for the first 2 hours, but I didn't see anything related to the third hour, and I think that is the
And
issue.
the ticket was at the third hour.
The third, it kicked, I made the payment, and it kicked back, and what I think happened is, my payments, I hit one of these, and I'm not going to say that I hit the wrong payment thing, I guess I did. I couldn't see, I was on the beach. And, I didn't mean, I didn't pay the third hour, I didn't pay. But it wasn't an honest, otherwise, why would I pay the first two? That would be silly. I would have just not paid.
And I understand that this is I'm actually doing the speech early, but unfortunately from my perspective, I have to take the ordinance or the law as it's written and mesh it with the facts as they exist. And based on what has been presented so far, there was an hour, whether it was by mistake or inadvertence or not by inadvertence or whatever reason, there was an hour that was not paid for. Hence why this case is being brought before me for the ticket that was issued. It just happened that it was during the time frame that 1 hour.
Yeah, but they were saying, they were saying I didn't pay at all. I did, ma'am. And like I said, it was kind of, it was a catastrophe walking in there. Why that was even open. After I got back to my car, I was like, are you kidding me? I got a ticket. What? So
again, like I said, I have to mesh it. You were there for 3 hours, you paid for 2, and the ticket just happened to have been issued during that time frame when you didn't have that one where you had that 1 hour interval when there was no payment. So it looks like the town has been able to prove the case that there had been no payment, if minimum, for that 1 hour. So that's now absent.
You're going to charge me $77, you're going to charge me that for parking
That
when,
is what the ordinance has in that's what's per the ordinance. And again, I have to mesh the facts as they exist and the ordinance. It is not my place to go ahead and be making judgments or go outside of what the ordinance as it is written. That's not my place. My place is to take the facts, see if they fit what is in the law, and mesh them together, and that is what my rulings are based upon. Okay? All right, so I see that what is the city requesting?
The payment and I believe costs, if I may.
Yeah, the payment $77 and then a court fee of $175, that equals $252.
I hereby find that there was proper service under the violation of stated in the rest of in the citation did exist, and as such, I'm imposing the one-time fine of the $77 as pursuant to the citation, and granting the city's request in the manner of $175 in fees and costs as incurred by the town regarding this matter. All right, you'll get an order in the mail.
That's it.
All right, next case.
Next case would be John Heitman Jr. The officer will be S. Gonzalez. Just said certainty.
Good morning.
Parking also.
Can you state your name and occupation for the record?
Yeah, it's Saba Gonzalez, and I work for the town of Fort Myers Beach, street enforcement, beach and street enforcement.
And the title of your position title is?
I'm a base employee, so beach and street enforcement employee,
Okay.
officer.
And are you familiar with the case in front of the magistrate today?
Yes, ma'am.
Could you please describe your involvement with this case?
So I was the one who issued the ticket and printed it out. This was under the bridge closest to the water, I believe. So like Joe said, on the app, on the passport app, it just shows a list of spaces and a zone number. So his zone is 2391 and space 194. So at the time being, I'm not sure if he did pay or, before or not, but at the time that it was there, spot 194 wasn't presented on my screen, which indicates that there was nothing paid for. I usually have a habit of refreshing before I write the ticket, like as I see it, and then right as I'm writing the ticket, I go back before I issue it and refresh it one more time because the app does sometimes take a while to refresh, so I refreshed it. Nothing was shown, so I proceeded to write the ticket.
Could you describe the details of the citation that you issued, the type of vehicle, the owner information?
Yeah, it's an overtime meter citation, which is the code for an unpaid parking spot. It was a white Honda, license plate number CIKP 86, and the ticket was issued for $77 at about 2:33 on May 7th of this year, 2023.
Okay, anything else you want to add to the special magistrate?
Not much. I did take a picture of everything. I do believe you should have, but I did take a picture of the windshield just to indicate that there was no parking pass, like a residential pass, and there was no handicap permit or anything like that, hindering me from writing the ticket. So I just went ahead and wrote it.
Was the citation left on the windshield of the car?
I'm sorry?
How was the citation? Was it left on the car?
Yeah, my citations were left right on the windshield of the driver's side.
Anything else from the town?
No, thank you.
Do we have a respondent present in the audience?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, please come on up, sir, and state your name, relationship to the case, and remember to speak loudly into the mic.
I don't believe he was sworn in, magistrate. He was not
Raise
here.
your right hand. Do you swear from the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, and the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
And your
Okay,
name?
state your name and relationship to the case, please, sir.
I'm John Heitman. I own that car that the gentleman just referenced. And
Okay.
I,
So the citation is regarding an unpaid meter.
so here's my position. I first want to apologize for, in all this disaster, to even be here to take the time up for this. But I don't have a smartphone with me that day, so I can't use that parking lot. 2 weeks before that, I was there. There's boats in there. There's big floating docks in there. I parked next to the floating dock. And I went up and watched a basketball game and had a pizza. Prior to that, I dropped my wife off at the beach. All signs all over, free parking. I understand that's Lee County's parking lot, not the town of Fort Myers. My wife comes back to the car, comes upstairs and hands me that ticket. I go, oh, that's interesting. I guess that's open now and they're collecting fees for the parking space. But they haven't removed all this other stuff. And there's absolutely zero signs that says this is a town parking lot. There's the little QR codes behind each space. Sunday, there are still those floating docks next to that parking space with QR codes behind those floating docks. Hopefully you're getting $5 an hour for each of those floating docks, whoever owns them. There were ships and there were boats in there. There was a lot of things in there. But on Wednesday, I think of that week, that bar opened up and then I guess you start to enforce the parking. I understand you need money. You have no ratables. You have very little visitors and parking. I come over from the mainland to support the rebuilding of this place. I spend money here. That's my intent. I've not been back since this ticket because on Monday morning after Sunday's visit, I called at 8:30 and said, I did not have a smartphone. I couldn't participate in this process of using technology for my parking space. The old system, you went up with a credit card and you put your number in and you got a little ticket and you put it on your window. So you've changed to this new QR thing that I guess is advantageous for someone. It's not advantageous for the user. It's very time consuming and it's very challenging. And all of the parking spaces in Lee County aren't uniform. You don't all use the same company. So I can't do it. I call to give you the $10. They said, sorry, you've got to go to court. I said, wait a minute. I'm calling you, telling you I was there for 2 hours. I owe you $10. I want to pay you, and you're not going to take my money when you need money badly? No, you have to go before the magistrate. Okay, I go north for the winter. Today's my day. my wife's livid that I would spend $175 to come before you to explain this to you. But I think it's so important that this town realizes the situation that they're in, should be inviting to everyone and not chasing people away. I'm a community-involved person. I'm the president of my HOA. I have 7 claims. I lost my house. I lost my roof. I'm down here supporting this town. This looks no more like a public parking place than any of the buildings, you can't see them here, but any of this demolished area is right adjacent to where we're being heard today. It's unfathomable that I would call you to offer you my money and you wouldn't take it. I can't do the process. I don't have a phone. So are you excluding me from using the parking places in Fort Myers Beach by embracing this technology and implementing this program? That's what you're doing. You're discriminating against me from using your public parking places. That's not right. And I'm here to make sure this court and this town understands that is not right. No one should be required to own a smartphone to park in your public parking places. Is that a requirement when you come over the bridge? If you want to park here, you have to own a smartphone? Have to have good internet service? It seems like it's not correct. It seems it would be hard for me to believe that that's correct.
Let me hear from the town.
I'm sorry?
I've got to hear from the town.
I just want to ask a clarifying question. So you said that you don't have a smartphone, but then you did call the town the next day. So I'm assuming then
I
that
didn't have it with me that day. I have a smartphone. I own a smartphone.
you do have a smartphone.
I
You
own a
just didn't-
smartphone. Didn't have it with me that day.
You just didn't have it with you that day.
Correct.
And were you by yourself that day?
I was. I mean, I dropped her off at the beach. I went over to the bar, watched the basketball game. She come over and we left and went home.
And if you had your smartphone with you, you would have followed the process and been
But yeah,
aware.
I've done it. I've done it downtown, and I've done it on
Okay.
Sanibel and their system, and
So you know how the
it's a little
system
discouraging.
works. You just didn't have your phone with you that
Yeah,
day.
and if I did, I wouldn't have had my password to my Apple ID to go to the App Store to download the app. I wouldn't have that with me. I'd have it at my desk at home. So the first time, it's a big setup procedure. It's not taking a picture of that QR code and getting a thing comes up and says, here, put your credit card in and go. It's you create an account. You put in your name, you put in a password. It's 20 minutes. And with the cell service and the speed of the cell service, it's very time consuming. And I think it's, well, everybody has their opinion, but I think it's a poor implementation of something. And I think your timing of turning it off and on should be big banner. Welcome to Fort Myers Public Beach Parking. And we are now charging for parking. 2 or 3 weeks before that, when I was there, you weren't. So I think when I had a discussion on the phone with the gentleman, he said, well, we put it on the news and stuff. I said, well, I guess if you see that story, you would be aware. But you go there today, you wouldn't even, there's no sign that says this is a Fort Myers Beach public parking area. I'm sure Ian took it, but there's not one there. But you've put those new little QR things that are about 6 inches by 6 inches behind each parking space, which you can't read, right? You have to have a device to read the QR code. So you're left, I'm left, with a choice of leave, I guess, not park here. Where do you park? Down there is not much parking. Go somewhere else. Don't do business on the beach. It's not a friendly system. I'm sure there's a business decision of why you chose to implement it, but it reminds me of red light cameras. It's not a good process. And I had it happen downtown in Fort Myers, different app. I called them. I gave them their $5, $2, I think it is. And they said, nope, we'll just delete the ticket. Thank you. So everybody's handling this differently. I guess there's a huge cost savings in implementing this technology, and you probably partner with the people that own the technology. But That's
All
not
right,
my business.
I'm ready. We're straying away from the case at issue. What is the city requesting?
Payment of the parking fee as well as costs, and if I can ask staff if you want to just come to the mic and just to verify the amount.
So yes, the town is asking for a fine of $77 plus an administrative fee of $175, totaling out to $252.
You seem lost, magistrate.
And that's what happens when you're at the meters, too.
We have you back, ma'am.
I am back. Okay. I hereby find that there was proper service and that the violation as stated in the citation did exist. I'm hereby imposing the citation amount of $77 and granting the town's request an amount of $175 in fees and costs incurred regarding this case. I'm making it the magistrate.
What is the appeal process to this?
I can't give legal advice on there, but it is in the ordinance.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the last part.
It should be it's going to be in the ordinance.
It's stated in the ordinance, the appeal process?
Yeah, the appeal process is in the ordinance.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
That's it?
That's it.
Yep, that's it. You'll get an order in the
Do
mail.
you get a credit app or something
Like-
to pay how do you pay the money, or send me a bill? What do you do?
Base, if you can step up and tell him how he can pay.
You mean for parking?
No, pay
No,
for this
for this.
fine and the thing. He comes to you guys.
Well, he's going to get an order in the
He's
mail.
gonna get an ordinance in the mail, is what she just said.
I said I don't do anything today.
Yep.
Thanks.
Ready for the next case? Next case will be Infinite Pool Finishes LLC. Patrick Morris, the code enforcement officer, will present the case. That's just the file. we sent.
And I'm sorry, what was the property owner again?
I have to be sworn, I have to be sworn in, Special Magistrate. I haven't been sworn in.
I didn't hear what you
You haven't been sworn in?
I have not been sworn in.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Which addenda is it, property owner?
This case, Your Honor, is the case number 20232160. It is for irreparable, irreversible
Got it.
violation. Okay?
Got it.
On July 20, are you ready, Your Honor? On July 24th, I was called by our Marine Division for a pool being discharged into the bay. I went over there and I spoke with the homeowner, and at that time, they took the water that was being discharged in the bay and put it on the land, which is what we require. No water can go directly into the bay. It's got to be filtered through the land. The homeowner applied at the time. I got another call from our Marine Division on July 27th that they were pumping pool water back into the bay again. I went down there and then I made contact, on the 24th, made contact with the pool company and the homeowner. On the 27th, the homeowner was not there. I made contact with the pool company, and they stopped. I told them you can't pump directly into the thing, and they stopped. Then again, on August 3rd, we got another call from the Marine Division that they were doing it again. When I went there on that day, there was nobody there, but the water was pumping into the bay at that time. So this is in violation of the Land Development Code, Section 6.2 and Section 10-603. They were served certified mail, which was claimed, and it was claimed on August 29th. And the property the homeowner was there on that one day, but the property appears to be unoccupied because the homeowner who is here present and the pool company is here at this time lives in another state, so he wasn't there on those other contacts. So that was my contact with the property owner. I have a list of photos of the water going into there. I swear that I took those pictures, and they are all legitimate, and that they're timed and date stamped. If the hearing examiner does find a violation, the city is requesting $250 in hearing costs, and for the pool company, we're requesting a $5,000 fine for a total of $5,250. The pool company is here with a representative, Your Honor.
Your Honor, may I ask some additional questions?
Oh, please, yes.
Thank you. You have presented a packet to be placed into the record. Is it your desire to have your background materials placed into the record?
Yes, I also sent the special magistrate the same packet that I gave you.
Has the property owner and the pool company been provided a copy of the packet?
No, they haven't.
Okay, do you have a copy you can provide to them now?
Absolutely. Your special magistrate, I also have the environmental manager for Town of Fort Myers Beach here with me, and he's the manager that requests that we do the citation on the property, so he can answer any questions about the environmental impact and everything. He's here with us today.
So because we are just providing the packet to them, I'd like to, on the record, go ahead and go through some of the material that you have in the packet, just so everyone is aware of it. I believe, let's talk about notice. What type of notice was provided to the property owner
It was-
as well as to the pool company?
A citation was issued to both the homeowner and the pool company. The citation to the homeowner is a $500 fine, and the citation to the pool company is a $5,000 fine.
And that was personally given to them?
That was delivered certified mail, which were both claimed.
Okay. And the evidence in the record?
Oh,
Oh.
we just got tired of talking. No, put Vinny up there. Can you hear me, Your Honor? Okay.
I changed the connection, my apologies on it. We'll have that. Yeah, I got you that you had the gentleman from environmental with you.
Yes, I have the manager from environmental with us today that oversees the citation. And he's here if you need to ask any questions.
Okay, so I want to go back and just ask you a little bit more about the documents. You mentioned that the citation was provided to both the property owner as well as to the pool company, which is Infinite Pool Finishes LLC.
That's this case, yes.
And in the packet that was provided to the special magistrate as well as to the property owner and the pool company, could you describe, you said that you sent it certified mail?
Yes.
Do you have evidence of that in the packet?
Yes, we have the green card returned that was signed, and we have the receipt that we sent the certified mail.
Okay. And in the packet of materials, which you've also provided a copy to me, there's a series of photographs. And could you Could we go through some of these photographs? You testified, I believe, that you personally took each one of these photographs?
I'm sorry, the first one in that packet was taken by our Marine Division.
And which is the first?
That's the small one right there.
This
That,
one.
that one right there would have been taken from the boat of our Marine Division. All the rest were taken by me.
Okay, and could you describe verbally what the
That's-
picture shows?
That's our Marine Division are in their boat, and they are taking that picture from the boat, looking right at the wall where the water's coming out, and you could see that the water is being stirred up because of the force of the water coming from the pool into the bay.
Okay, so, Your Honor, if I may, just mark it Exhibit A, or Exhibit 1.
So exhibit, either one's fine. So
Okay, the next photograph that you have is this one?
Yes, so that's a picture of their employees at the pool that I took.
Okay, and what does the picture show?
The picture shows the pool, 2 employees walking around by the pool.
Okay, Your Honor, I'd like to mark that one Exhibit 2.
and for purpose of the record, I have copies of the other pictures that, at least the two that have been shown.
Pardon me, Your Honor?
She's saying, I'm sorry, Your Honor, we can't quite hear you very
I said
well.
I actually, I have copies of those pictures, at least the two that have been shown so far.
Okay.
I actually do have them.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. Again, there's another photograph, just to establish in the record, this photograph.
That's a picture of the water coming from the property into the bay, and you can see the turmoil of the water in the bay.
Okay, and this is part of the packet that you took?
That's part of the packet that I
So
took.
that one would be Exhibit 3. And then this photograph,
That's a picture of I'm on the side, I'm by the road on the side property, a picture of the water going into the bay at a different angle.
okay. That would be Exhibit 4. This photograph,
That's a picture of the work truck that the employees of the pool company were driving.
okay. So that's Exhibit 5. This
That's-
photograph,
That's a picture of the van of the work truck where they were taking their tools out, working on the pool.
okay, Exhibit 6. This photograph,
That's a photograph of the hose that's hooked up to the pool filter that's going directly into the bay.
Exhibit 7. And I think this is the last one.
And I think that's a copy of the, one of them that's already in there. That's a picture of the water going
So it's a
directly into the bay.
duplicate.
I think it's a duplicate.
Let's see.
I think that might be duplicate.
Same as that one?
No, I don't think it is, because there's more force of the water coming in.
Okay, so the last photograph, then, we'll just mark it Exhibit 8.
Okay.
And again, just for the record, you took all of these photographs except for Exhibit number 1.
Correct.
Okay, and they fairly and accurately depict what you personally observed that day?
Correct.
Is there anything else you would like to say to the magistrate?
No, that's all, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I believe we have a second witness we'd like to call. That would be Mr. Chad
Go ahead.
Schutz. Mr. Chad Schutz.
No German accent required.
Okay. Mr. Schutz, can you state your name and work address for the record?
Yes, ma'am. Chad Schutz, Town of Fort Myers Beach, environmental staff.
Environmental staff. And in your role as the environmental staff, could you describe some of your duties and responsibilities?
Sure.
Let me qualify that just for the efficiency and purposes of time. Your duties and responsibilities as related to this case.
Sure. Code enforcement for environmentally related code infractions.
Are you familiar with the case that we have before us today?
Yes, ma'am.
Could you tell the magistrate your involvement?
Sure. We were out on the water taking canal depths for damage assessment for dredging project, and observed water streaming into the canal and a big cloud of turbid waters at where that water was hitting. So we,
I'm going to interrupt you. What day was that?
I believe it was July 13th. I've sent you some timestamp photos that will be on your email. So we observed that July 13th. We're in the boat in the water. Pool company, I assume, is up on land. Called the worker over.
Again, I'm going to interrupt you. You said the pool company. Could you identify the pool company?
I could not at that time.
Okay.
We were in the water. Hey guys, you have this hose that's streaming out, causing this turbidity. That's not allowed. There's best management practices to slow it down, let it percolate, and stop causing turbidity into the canal. A couple of weeks later, I believe on July 24th, so late July, we again observed water streaming over, not quite the velocity, not quite the turbidity, but still water coming into the canal, and asked Officer Morris to
I'm here.
Okay, sorry, we thought you cut out. So it was on July 24th that we again noticed a healthy stream of water coming off the canal into the waters, and I made contact with Officer Morris to request him to go to the property and notice the contractor and the property owner. And so the third incident was on August 3rd. Our harbor master, again, was doing his duties out in the bay for the mooring field, and again observed water going over the canal wall, and where that water was streaming over, the wall itself and the algae that's growing on that wall was noticeably and distinctly bleached compared to the rest of the wall. And at that time, it seemed like there had been enough education to the contractor and the owner, and we cited them for requested irreparable and irreversible violation be cited to them.
Okay, and the violation that you observed, that was of Section 303.3?
If you could read me that.
Disposal of swimming pool water. Prior to disposing any swimming pool water, chlorine and bromide levels must be reduced by not adding chlorine or bromine for at least 5 days or until levels are below 0.1 milligrams per liter. One of the following methods of disposal shall be utilized. And then there are two methods. Discharge of the water into the roadside swales to allow for percolation of the water into the ground without any runoff to canals, beaches, wetlands, other tidal waters, or onto adjoining properties. This shall be the preferred method of disposal. Number two is discharge of the water into the sanitary sewer system operated by Lee County Utilities is also permitted, but is not the preferred method. Finally, under no circumstances shall any swimming pool water be discharged either directly or indirectly onto the beach or onto canals, wetlands, or any other tidal waters. Is
Yes.
it your testimony that that section of the code was violated?
Yes, ma'am, because of the noticeable bleaching in the wall where the water was coming over. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, anything else you want to add?
Not at this time.
No further questions.
Once she comes back, we're gonna have to swear you in because you weren't here.
I'm going to go ahead and before we continue with the respondents, I'm going to turn off my video to see if the internet connection improves, but I'll have the audio on, okay? That might actually help. Otherwise, I'm going to ask the technician to go ahead and edit. That way I'll have on the phone, it will reduce the bandwidth and make it a better connection. So let's go ahead and give that a shot, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, go ahead.
We have representation from Infinity Pools here. They have not been sworn.
Good morning, Madam Magistrate. This is
Raise
Victor
your right
Vallada,
hand.
representing
Okay,
Infinite
before
Flu.
we proceed, please. Taking all the- Raise your right- raise-
Madam Magistrate, we can't hear you very
Okay,
well.
so you're not. Right, hand for the taking, please. Excuse me.
There we go. I can see you.
Excuse me. The testimony you're about to give the whole truth and nothing but the truth.
I do.
Yes, verbal. All right. Off the video now, I can proceed.
Thank you, Madam Magistrate. Again, Victor Vallada, representing Infinite Pool Finishes. A couple of things that I think are relevant in opposition to the case that was just presented. One of the issues, this swimming pool has been empty since pretty much the hurricane. So there was no swimming pool water inside the swimming pool. There was actually a lot of debris, a lot of sand, tree branches, and a lot of other debris that caused from the storm. The homeowner finally decided to get the pool remodeled and fixed. And so for well over a year, there was no swimming pool water in that swimming pool. Once the pool was empty of the debris, the company dig a hole in the middle to prevent the pool from popping up. And of course, you know, the water every time that it rained or there was a storm, water would accumulate inside or would permeate from the bottom of the pool. There was no chemicals in that water, not that my client can certify from the workers. Actually, if you see Exhibit 7 that was presented, and Exhibit 6, I apologize, you see the back of the truck, there's no chlorine containers there. There's no other chemical containers there. They were there to clean the debris and make sure that the pool was empty so they can begin to remodel the pool and fix it. Some of the other pictures, I think it's very clear to see that the entire wall of that faces the canal is the same color. It was not the coloration that only affected the area where the water was being discharged. So there was no reason whatsoever for the company or the homeowner to be using any chemicals at that stage of the process. No pool company does that. It's not in the normal course of business. There's no reason to be using any chlorine whatsoever. And so the position of the company is that there was no chemicals being discharged into the canal. There's actually one exception under Section 10604. In one of the exceptions of discharging water into the canal is dechlorinated swimming pool discharge. And that's what we believe exactly was contained in that water. There was no reason to be using any type of chemicals at that moment, Your Honor. So we understand the code enforcement position. My client took measures every time that there were some issues there. I think the third time there was a little bit of a language barrier that occurred, and when the right representative showed up to address the issue and just make sure that there was, addressed that no chemicals were being used, a lot of time had lapsed, and I think the personnel that was there no longer wanted to discuss the situation, and here we are. So we request that the fine be removed for my client and the homeowner, and in the alternative, to be reduced to an administrative fine. And all corrective measures have been taken, but again, our position is that no chemicals and no chlorine was ever used.
Does the city have a response to that, that he references from the ordinance?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, I couldn't understand you.
I was asking if the town has a response to your reference to the portion of the ordinance regarding when water can be discharged into the bay.
So the dechlorination chemicals, I believe what you were testifying
Right.
was actually what was discharged and not chlorine or bromine.
Correct.
I have to defer to staff for an opinion as to that factual statement.
Magistrate Chad Schutz here again. I'm not sure if you can see that photo that I just shared onto Zoom.
I can.
So you can see
Yeah.
the white area where that water was streaming down from. There's a video of that showing that water movement, if there's any question as to whether there's water moving right there. And that is the basis for my assumption that there was a bleaching agent in the pool, in the water that was coming from the pool, whether it's pool water or whatever kind of water it is.
And this is a photograph that you personally took, just for the record, and it fairly and accurately depicts exactly what you saw that day.
I'm sorry, I was distracted.
That's okay. Just for the record, once again, this is a photograph that you took. It looks like it's dated August. What is the actual date on it?
So that's August 3rd, is it 3rd or 8th? 3rd.
August the 3rd.
3rd.
And you personally took this photograph. This is what you observed?
No, ma'am, this is taken by our harbor master.
Your harbor master?
Yes,
And
ma'am.
your harbor master works for you?
Yes, ma'am.
And the name of your harbor master?
Austin Gilchrist.
And you had a personal conversation with him regarding this photograph?
I did, and it was also sent via text from his phone to my phone.
Okay, thank you.
Madam Magistrate,
I want to go ahead and, that stated, allow pool company to go ahead and it's presented where it clearly shows a picture, only a section of the seawall that is technically bleached out. It's a different color.
Your Honor, if I may, if we can put the other picture in, you can see that the rest of the wall there, if you see the bigger picture, this is not the actual, that one. If you see, there's a lot of grass on the left-hand side, and arguably that could be dirt. And since water is not running through there, there's the dirt is undisturbed. You see, there's really a lot of grass there and dirt that if you have running water, arguably it would be the same color. That's one component. The second component, right now, my client has pictures on his phone that he can show you with a clear view, and we can present it here to the city. The actual pumping of what was inside of the swimming pool, and it was canal water and it was storm water, and they had no chemicals whatsoever. It was just being emptied out yet again because every time that it stormed, water would accumulate. But just like I indicated before in my statement, there was no need to be using any chemicals at that stage of the repair, of the remodeling of the swimming pool, and that's never done. So there was a lot of water pressure washing, and there was a lot of pumping of storm water and canal water that would sweep into the swimming pool, partly because of the hole that was made so that the pool wouldn't pop up from the ground.
When we put, is there anything else that the Infinity Post wants to add?
I'm sorry, Madam Magistrate, we can't understand what you're
Was
saying.
there anything else that was there anything that Infinity Pools wanted to add? Or does that I have a question for the code officer.
No, not at this time, Your Honor. I mean, just like, to sum it up.
Your Honor,
You mean-
the three photographs that Mr. Schutz gave us, could you mark them as 9, 10, and 11 consecutively? I think you have photographs as well,
Sure, so
we
it-
can keep the record straight.
That goes into the record. If we could have the code officer, I do see in the package that I received the evidence of service upon Infinity Pools. I did not see service.
There was a green card that was claimed by Infinity Pools, Your Honor. We have copies of it. That wasn't in your packet?
Those. My question is property owner.
I believe she's asking about perhaps a green card for the property owner. I think we have.
That's
proof-
the
That's the next case. The
Correct.
property owner is the next
Property.
case, Your Honor.
They were incited?
The property owner is going to be your next case. And
Okay, so they weren't done simultaneously? Okay.
Okay.
All right, let's go ahead and call the case against the case number.
The property owner's case number would be 2023.
It's a different one, let's go ahead. Okay, if it's a different one, let's go ahead and call it, because I don't want to make a rule without hearing that side. It should have been all packaged together.
Okay.
With two respondents as opposed to separate. So let's go ahead and call that other one.
Sure, the property owner would be Thomas M.
Sure.
I'm sorry if I say it wrong, Schlender? And Patrick Morris is the code officer assigned to that case. And his case number was 2023-2138.
Thank you, Your Honor. This case is, the homeowner is Thomas Schlendler, and he lives at, his property is 457 Estero. On July 24th, I made contact with him because our Marine Division saw the water going into the bay. So they called me, I went down there, I made contact with him, and the pool company was there, and he immediately stopped the water from going into the bay and moved it over to going into his neighbor's property. And so they stopped right then and there. So that's when I stopped too. I said, thank you very much, you can't do it in the pool. So that was going to be the end of it for me. And I talked to the environmental manager and I said, they stopped. And he said, okay, they stopped, we'll just let it go. Then I got another call back on the 27th where they started it up again. I went there and the pool company was there. And again, I stopped the pool company and told them that they had to stop putting it into the bay. And then again, on August 3rd, I got another call from the Marine Division that they were doing again. When I went back over there again, there was nobody there, but the water was running. And I have a picture of the hose from the pool going into the bay. At that time, the homeowner was not there, Your Honor. He was only there the one time. And that's the only contact I had with him. When I went there, he did comply. And for the homeowner, Your Honor, we are asking a $500 fine and $250 in hearing costs for a total of $750. And the homeowner is here, Your Honor.
Unless the county has any other questions for the court officer, I'd like to hear from, let's call up the homeowner, please.
Mr. Senator.
I believe you weren't sworn in.
No.
The homeowner needs to be sworn in.
Alrighty, give me a second. Go ahead and put my video back on. Alrighty, raise your right hand. Do you swear from the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay. All right, state your name and relationship to the case, please.
Tom Schlender, owner of 457 Estero Boulevard.
Okay, you've heard the case before on infinity pools. They did a separate case pool for you. Do you have any response to what had the allegations being made?
I hired Infinite Pools to do a remodel on my pool after the storm from Hurricane Ian. The pool had a bunch of debris, some furniture, and a ton of sand in the bottom of it, and needed to get all the stuff taken out and get the pool refinished. This was back in May or June, so about 6 months after the storm. Pool had approximately 1.5 to 2 foot of water in it, and a bunch of furniture and sand and stuff like that. Got all the debris out of there. Infinite Pool came, and we agreed to refinish the pool and get moving on it. We pumped the pool. They started pumping the pool out, the rest of the water that was in there after I got the debris out. And code enforcement came by and says, "Hey, you can't pump water into the canal." And the water was running off the side of the seawall there. We said, "Oh yeah, no problem, no problem." We moved it over to the neighbor's swale there that they have a drainage area, and pumped the rest of the pool water out. Which there wasn't much in the pool. Like I said, there was probably only three or 4 feet of water in the pool when the Infinite Pool came out. Again, that was about 6 to 7 months after the storm. So I believe there was not a single chemical left in that pool other than just what was in the debris from the furniture and sand and stuff like that. Code enforcement came out, talked to me. I says, "Oh yeah, sorry about that." I was cleaning up the rest of the yard and stuff like that. So we had the guys move it to the neighbors. We drained the rest of the pool there. That was the last I heard of it until I got a notice in the mail saying that they had continued to pump water into the canal. I didn't know. I wasn't here. I was back in Colorado. But there was no chemicals in that pool. I don't know the process with the pool company, but I've got 4 other pools, and I've never seen anybody use chemicals to do what we were doing anyway. But the original pool water that was in there, the couple feet that was in there, did get drained in the neighbor's yard next door when code enforcement approached me and I talked to them. So that was the last I heard of it. I was out of state. Apparently the code enforcement came out a couple more times. They had to drill a hole in the bottom of the pool so the pool wouldn't pop up out of the ground from the pressure from the tide because we're so close to the water there, and it's a relatively deep pool. I think it's like 6-7 feet deep. So with that pool water was going up and down all the time inside the pool because the hole in the bottom of it. They had to pump the water out to be able to work on the pool and build a shelf that we wanted to build in there and to refinish the pool. So I did not know anything about where they're pumping it or anything like that, but it was canal water that was in that pool from the day we started it till the day we just finished it a couple months, like last month. So yeah, that's about all I've got.
Since you had, you mentioned that you had pool furniture inside that pool, that means was the pool pump running?
No, I had to get all the pool furniture and stuff out of the pool before we started pumping it.
Alrighty. I don't know if the town has any questions or want to add anything.
Your Honor, this particular case is pretty fact-specific, and discussions with town staff as well as discussion with the representative of the pool company, it may be prudent to give us a little bit more time, and perhaps we can try to resolve this matter. With that said, the town's primary concern is compliance with its code and to avoid any type of irreparable harm to the environment, whether it's in the canals, the beaches, the waterways. And I believe that counsel for the pool company is in agreement. We would ask for a continuance of this case, if you would allow that, because perhaps we might be able to resolve some of these issues, the factual ones.
All right. Is the council for Infinity Pools in agreement with the continuance?
Yes, Your Honor, and I think I can also speak for the homeowner on that regard.
All right,
just flew
let
out.
me hear, since I think both cases with the pool company and the property owner should be held together because they relate, it's factually the same thing. If I'm granting continuance for one, I'm obviously granting continuance for the other one. Let me hear from the property owner to see if he agrees to the continuance.
He's shaking his head.
Yes, Your Honor, sorry.
I need him on the,
Yes.
on the video. Yes, okay. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and grant the continuance, based on the agreement of the parties.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
All right, good luck.
That's all we have
Let's
for
go ahead
today.
and, that was the last case?
That's it. Yes, ma'am.
All righty, okay.
Thank you very much.
All right, so it sounds like we're done here today. That concludes our agenda. And I'm not sure if I'm gonna see you next time or not, but if not, you know where to find me.
Yes, ma'am. I thank you very much for everything you do.
My pleasure.
Thank you,
anytime.
Madam Magistrate. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Take care.